Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently holding for further traffic clearance.
Check out Kristen's new website, magicaljourneysvacations.com, for all your vacation needs. Disney, Universal, cruise lines, and more.
Thank you for traveling with us.
magicaljourneysvacations.com. Have her book your magical vacation today.
You're listening to a Weeby Geeks Network podcast.
The Dining at Disney podcast. The Dining at Disney podcast.
You know the thing about good food? It brings folks together from all walks of life.
Your ultimate source for the wonderful world of dining at the Disneyland and Walt Disney World Resort.
If you are what you eat, then I only want to eat the good stuff.
Kristen and Bubba are your guides on this culinary adventure.
People are going to line up for miles around just to get a taste of my food.
Our food.
Join them as they discuss the latest food news, expert tips, recommendations, and trip planning advice as it relates to Disney dining.
Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes.
From quick service to fine dining, you'll discover all the best restaurants and food as you hungrily explore the Disney parks.
Let's do this thing!
The Dining at Disney podcast. And now your hosts, Kristen and Bubba.
Welcome to another episode of the Dining at Disney podcast, your ultimate source for delicious discussion about dining at Disneyland and Disney World. I am your host and foodie, Kristen, and with me is former cast member and future Club 33 owner, Big Bubba B.
Oh, that'd be awesome if I could own it one day.
Club 33 member, I guess is the term I should have used, not owner.
Like, oh, thank you. Thank you. One day if I win the lotto, yeah, I'll definitely own it.
You need like Bill Gates kind of money to buy Disney, probably.
You need that type of money to buy Club 33, probably. But that'd be nice.
That would be cool.
Okay. Everybody can come. Everybody will be able to come for free. I wouldn't even charge.
Just for free? You're supposed to make money off of it.
Oh, you know me.
Especially the amount of money you'd have to spend to buy it.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Good point.
Well, today we are going to be talking about the Tam O'Shanter, which has ties to Disney, which we'll be discussing the St. Paddy's event that I had attended there, which included some delicious food and drink. And we'll discuss Walt Disney's ties to that restaurant, as well as the 50th anniversary of Pirates of the Caribbean, some of the cool merchandise and foods that were available at that. And then to end it all, we're going to be talking about Trader Sam's Coffee Company. They recently sent me a nice box containing several of their Disney-themed coffees. So we'll be discussing that and what I thought about those different coffees that were sent. So let's go ahead and kick this off with talking about Tam O'Shanter. I went out there as a guest of Kat Cressida. She had asked me to come out and help her share the fantastic St. Paddy's Day events they have going on there over my social media. And so I headed out to LA. And this restaurant is the oldest restaurant in LA that is owned and operated by the same family from the beginning. The way that this has ties to Disney is that back in the day, Walt Disney worked just minutes away from this restaurant. And so he was a regular there. And he even had a favorite table, which is table number 31. It sits in a corner near a big fireplace. You can actually request that table if you want. But on the table, I've got pictures of it on the blog. If you look for the St. Paddy's Day post that I did about it, there's a review. And it shows one of the doodles that Walt did on the table. So you can see that. There's a little plaque on the table that tells you that that's the table that was Walt's. And as far as the food, it is absolutely incredible. So you can completely see after trying it why it was a favorite of Walt's. And the restaurant was super cool with us, and we got to try so many different dishes that they had. One that we did was their signature meatballs, and it had a traditional lingonberry sauce to it. You may be familiar with lingonberries because often it's served along with Swedish meatballs, but Swedish meatballs also has like a gravy to it. So this doesn't. The best I could explain is kind of similar to like when you do like a sweet chili kind of meatballs for like a big party or something like that.
Yeah.
They're kind of similar to that. And then we also started off with the Scotch rarebit, and it is a Scottish recipe of cheddar cheese, Belhaven Scottish ale, cayenne pepper, and it is served with sourdough toast. It is like the Scottish version of queso. It was absolutely awesome. And then for our main dishes, we had tons of things that we were able to try. We had the corned beef and cabbage. It had buttered red potatoes, herb carrots, and a spicy English mustard with it. It was so tender, very flavorful, absolutely amazing. Then we also did toad in the hole. And the best way I can explain this, it's kind of similar to like a pot pie. So it's got diced filet mignon in it, as well as Yorkshire pudding, pearl onions, mushroom and carrots, kale, and there's a Guinness gravy. And
wow.
It's beautiful and very tasty. I don't like prime rib. I always find it to be very, very chewy.
Oh, wow.
Are you a prime rib lover?
Carnosaur, more like it. Yes. Oh, yeah. I love prime rib. Love it to death. Yes.
Okay. Bubba, sometime you have to go here and have their prime rib.
Oh, I've heard about it. Yes, I've definitely heard about it.
It is English cut, the one that we had.
Mhm.
And this by far is the best prime rib I've ever had. It was so tender that you didn't even need a steak knife to cut it. You could cut it with like just easily with a butter knife.
Oh, yes.
And it just kind of like melted in your mouth. I would definitely have a prime rib here. So that tells you how good this prime rib was.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, prime rib, it can be hard to cook sometimes, whether if you do it right, like you said, it'll come out tender, moist, but you can easily do it wrong where it just comes out gray and rough and chewy. I've seen it happen dozens of times. We used to cook it at restaurants that I used to work at. But yeah, it's hard because one of the best prime ribs I had was in Vegas, and it was a king cut. It was probably I had a picture of it a long time ago, but it was just one of the biggest prime ribs I've ever seen. And yeah, I got to try this Tam O'Shanter one. The pictures you and Kat posted from it I almost ate my phone looking at them.
It looked that good to you?
Yeah, it looked that good. Yeah, I mean, just the right amount of redness, because you don't want to overcook it. You always want it like medium rare. You don't want it medium well, or well done. It just gets chewier as it's cooked more. So you had it at the perfect temperature.
This is the first time that I've ever had a non-chewy bite of, and I actually had more. I actually had a second serving of it because I liked it enough to have more.
And then they gave us English cut is a pretty big cut too.
And they gave us a whole bunch of a variety of desserts to try as well, and those were all really good. One of them was sundae. We had a creme brulee, and my favorite one, I can't even think of the name of what it was, but the desserts were all, I mean, everything. All I can say is everything there was great. There's nothing on that menu that we got to try that I wouldn't order again.
Oh, wow! Sounds like a great place to go.
I can see absolutely why this was a place that Walt went to frequently. Even once he changed offices, he worked further away from Tam O'Shanter. He still would continue to be a regular there. You can see pictures of him with the owner at the time. There's even a drawing when you first enter. It's right next to the hostess stand of of the owner with some of the Disney characters. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a really awesome looking place. The atmosphere is really unique. It's very much will remind you of like a place that you would visit um in Europe. I mean, it just was super, super cool looking place. Um, have tons and tons of scotch. So if you're a scotch drinker, you'll definitely find something there that you'll like. Um, while we were there, the band that was performing was the Plowboys, and they are actual regulars of the restaurant and have been performing there for over 20 years. They said the first Friday of the month they perform, and after that, it is every Thursday night that they perform. So they can always be caught there performing at the restaurant. So if you ever get a chance, definitely head out there, check it out, see if you can sit at Walt's table, and just take it all in. To me, it was really cool to get to see a place that Walt, went to that was not Disney run. I mean, everything I've ever had the opportunity to experience was something that Walt had ties to, but was Disney related. So to me, this was super, super cool experience.
That is definitely like something for every Disney fan to go do if you're in LA. I kind of regret not doing it because I'd never heard about this place really. I'd maybe heard about it once or twice before, but when you mentioned it, I'm like, oh, I think I heard of somebody talking about that place, and I didn't realize how much history there was between Walt and the place. And I kind of regret not ever going down there when I lived there. And so I'm definitely gonna have to go and check it out.
And that was the same weekend as Pirates 50th, which we attended the next day. So I'm going to let you talk about our experience with the madness that was the 50th.
It was luckily you were there for Food and Wine Festival. So when we met you inside Disneyland. So of course we knew the first thing we had to do was do Pirates, because throughout the day we know it was going to be nuts. But my main goal was try to, at least get some type of merchandise for the day, which they had. They had lots of pins. They had a Stein, which was the line for, you saw it. It was just insane. You were probably going to wait 2 hours for this Stein. And it, luckily we did get a picture of it. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's a nice big, Disney has these creative Steins that you can purchase. They had one for the 60th anniversary. It was nice and blue with the castle on top. This one had like all this Aztec writing on the side with on the top. It has the famous iconic Pirates of the Caribbean scene where you see the skeleton steering the pirate ship wheel, in the wind. And that was the very top of the Stein. They started selling it maybe the Thursday, the day before the actual celebration kicked off. A couple days before, and it was already sold out. I believe it was either Thursday or Friday. The day they just sold out within an hour or two. So when we went Saturday,
crazy.
Yeah, when we went Saturday, which was the actual day of the 50th, there was already people in line for it from like 8 in the morning all the way till we got in the park around. We met you around 9, I believe, and we go straight to Pirates, and the line is just going everywhere through New Orleans Square, just every crevice you could think of. But there was also another line for the shirt that they offered, which was you were offered either a red shirt, which any guest from Disneyland can buy, which has the date March 18th, 2017, saying that you were there for the 50th. Or you could get the annual pass holder one, which luckily I grabbed the final big size. At least I was told by the cast members I got the last shirt for the annual pass holder, the big sizes, and this is it right here. Luckily I got it. And it's just like the red shirt, except on the back it does have a pass holder type emblem.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, not too big, but something like that. So they sold out of these maybe a couple hours later with the shirts. Yeah, also when we got into the park, they gave out Pirates of the Caribbean buttons, which are right here.
Yay.
Yes. Have the happy 50th, promoting the movie Dead Men Tell No Tales. And there was a couple more merchandise. I mean, they had this Pirates of the Caribbean 50th anniversary pin for annual pass holders, which I luckily got not one but two. So here it is right here for your pass holder. This was the pin that you could purchase, and it's got a nice picture on there of Walt.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then they had a couple more offerings, more merchandise, pins and stuff like that, which were selling out park wide. But the great thing that they offered was food. And, they didn't announce any of this until a week before that they were doing this 50th anniversary event, which we were stoked because we knew, we're already going to be in the park that day, so we can go check stuff out. But the line for everything was still long. We got there kind of early, so it was before a lot of the restaurants opened because we wanted to go do food and wine after that. So I think we tried to get a golden churro, but the line was just way too long already for it.
Yeah, 40 to 50 people in line for a golden churro.
For a golden churro, if you don't know this, it's they have the regular churros, but with this golden churro, they roll it in a lemon type golden dust, which gives it that golden sparkle. Same thing with the beignets also. If you were in line for where they sold the steins was at the Mint Julep bar, and that's the only place where you could get the lemon beignet. So we definitely weren't going to try the beignets too, because the line was 2 hours long just for the cup. So, I wanted to try more of the food. It was just too hectic in between and in there. So we didn't really get to try some of the food, unfortunately, but we did eat a lot over at Food and Wine that day.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. But, you had to leave later in the day,
yes,
to go.
Because I was there specifically to go to Tam O'Shanter's. My ticket, of course, was I could use for the full day, but because I was coming out there, Kat was super cool and had hooked me up with the ticket. And at that point, I had already set my flight to leave as late as I could, so at least I could enjoy some time being in California. But unfortunately, the latest affordable flight was for me to take at 10:45 p.m. So I got a nearly full day at the parks, because it was I think 6:30 or 6:45 when I left the park to walk back to my car and then do all that. So I got a good 9 hours in the park. So I can't complain about that at all.
Yeah. And we enjoyed every hour that you were with us. It was so much fun. I'm glad you got to come. So after you left, we decided, let's just head back to Disneyland. Let's see how insane it kind of is. Maybe watch the electrical parade or do something. So after we sat down, and we couldn't find a seat for the electrical parade. So luckily you met some of my friends earlier that day that let us take a picture of the stein. David and Diggs from the Mouse Pirate podcast, which we took pictures of. We took pictures with them, and they mentioned us on their podcast too, which was pretty cool of them. So thank you for that, guys. Shout out to you. But I got to meet up with them. I saw them sitting for the electrical parade in Jolly Holiday outside. So they let us sit with them, and we chatted for a long time, watched the electrical parade with them. So we decided towards the end, why don't we head over to Pirates of the Caribbean, me and my wife, Taylor. So we tried it, we checked it out, and luckily the line was not long for Pirates. Earlier it was about 2 hours long. It was only maybe 20 minutes long, luckily, because everybody wanted to watch the parade and the fireworks show. So we got on it that day, which was great. I'm glad I got to ride it the day of the 50th. So after we left, we thought, I'm going to try this golden churro line to see how it is, because earlier it was just around the block. I go there was only 10 people in line. I'm like, okay, I'm jumping right in right away. Yes. So we got in line, we got the golden churro, and I have to admit, I loved it better than the regular churro.
Really?
Yes, I truly did. You know what? It's had that flavor. If you've had Fruit Loops or Tricks, that lemon, you get that lemon Fruit Loop or that lemon Tricks type, if you bite into that, that's what the flavor reminded me of. And for some reason, it just fit well with the churro. It was nice and warm with that lemon flavor. And I was hooked on it. I'm like, oh man, I even told my wife, this is so much better than the regular churro. And this was only supposed to be a weekend thing, maybe a week long. They are still selling it in the park because that's how popular it is.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can only find it in the Golden the churro cart in New Orleans Square. That's the only place where you can find it. So if you plan on going, I'm sure they're going to have it while the movie comes out in May. So, definitely something you have to try and enjoy the flavor of it. It's really good. But other than that, yeah, that was
has
it.
a lot more to say than what you had to say about the Dole Whip cotton candy that just tasted like regular cotton candy.
That was very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. A lot of people raved like, oh, thank God. I mean, but not only that, they didn't mention it was Dole Whip. Like, oh, do you have the Dole Whip cotton candy? And they're like, oh, it's just pineapple. It's not Dole. I'm like, oh, okay. Is that a difference? So I tasted it and I'm like, oh yeah, it is a difference. I don't taste any pineapple at all. Thank God you didn't stamp Dole Whip on this thing. So all they did was just spray. It's like they sprayed gold on the cotton candy basically, and that's what it was. Or yellow, and I didn't taste any pineapple. Did I offer you a taste of it?
No, you had it the day before.
Oh, I had it the day before. That's right, when we were there. But no, very disappointed in the pineapple cotton candy. So if you're just gonna get cotton candy, get the regular.
Yeah, because I had asked you about it. And that was like one of the first things I think I asked you about because I had remembered seeing it in your post. And I was like, if it really tastes like Dole Whip, then I gotta taste it. But if it doesn't, then I want nothing to do with it. I know what cotton candy tastes like.
It did not taste like Dole Whip whatsoever.
It seems to me that cotton candy would be pretty hard to flavor because all it is spun sugar.
Yeah.
So trying to get it to pick up a flavor other than sugar doesn't seem like that would be too easy.
No, probably not. But they could have done something better to it to give it that pineapple flavor. But I couldn't taste it at all. Not one bit of pineapple.
What a shame.
Yeah, definitely. But that was a fun day. I'm glad they did this event for the 50th, and I'm glad we got to be there for it because it only happens once in a lifetime. And Pirates of the Caribbean is a staple at Disneyland and Disney World and everywhere around the world. So.
I will say the Pirates in Disneyland is my favorite. However, I was excited to ride that, or well, at least be there for the 50th, because the first ride that I ever rode in a Disney park was Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney World.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, sometimes I don't ride it because I've been on it so many times, and it's just not as cool as the one at Disneyland.
Well, I can't wait to compare one day. Hopefully, try the one at Disney World.
Next year, gonna happen.
Hope so.
See, I told Tay you need to start one of those Disney vacation funds that they have online. Put just a little bit of money away each week, something that you're barely gonna notice, like $10 or something like that. And then by the time it rolls around, you'll have so much money in there. It'll make it so much easier.
Then we'll give you a call.
Yay. And then we can plan our big trip.
Yes. Oh, that'd be fun.
And we get to be your tour guides this time.
There's quite the switch. Yeah, if you're ever with me at Disneyland, I'll always give you a little tour. Always tell you those, the most stupidest stuff, but some of the most important stuff too that I found out throughout the years of working there and being a park guest.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the Trader Sam's coffees that I got to try. So Trader Sam's Coffee Company sent me a box of 5 different coffees. And the way that I got hooked up with them was, again, because of Kat Cressida. She has her own special coffee for her character with them. Trader Sam's is their line of like Disney inspired coffees. So her particular coffee is based on her character at the Haunted Mansion, Constance Hatchaway. And that particular one is called Happily Never After. Now, I did not get a chance to try that one, but they did send us 5 others. And one of the cool things about this is this company started off as the Smiling Dog Coffee, and it was to help provide fund relief for dog rescues across the U.S. So that's a really cool thing that the money goes to a charity. And then they branched off and started the Trader Sam's line, which are the Disney themed ones. It's all of their coffees are premium special grade coffee beans. They're gluten-free and kosher for people who are concerned about that. And they only use natural extracts and raw sugars. So they're definitely a premium coffee. The ones that we got to try was the Main Street USA Colombian, which I think is perfect for people who don't like flavored coffees. It's just an easy to drink, non-flavored coffee. And then they also sent us the Plus Ultra Vanilla. And if you like vanilla, definitely try this. It's a French vanilla, and it's probably the best vanilla coffee I've ever had. I'm not a big fan of vanilla coffees. I have to find it to just kind of taste artificial. It's kind of like the difference between getting the cheap vanilla ice cream that's, in the little box versus like the premium French vanilla that's made by some other company. And it's like that much of a difference. I mean, it's really good. We also were able to try Prospector's Roast. Now, all these are themed after like attractions and things from Disneyland. So, of course, this one you see the label on it, and it's after Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Yeah, and awesome. It looks. All these labels are super cool, and they have guest artists that develop these labels for them. So, I think that's pretty cool.
They are.
This one was one of Al John's favorites. He really liked the hazelnut one. Our favorite overall is the Matterhorn Bobsledders Brew, and it is a fudge brownie flavored coffee. And this literally is like drinking a fudge brownie. It really has that nice taste. It's not that cocoa chocolate taste. It's actually a very like fudgy brownie taste to it. To me, I think this is like a perfect coffee to have instead of dessert. I mean, it's rich in flavor and low in calories. So, I mean, what's better than that, right?
Oh, no, I can't think of anything. Just you had me at fudge. As soon as you said fudge, I'm just like, wow. Oh.
And then we also tried the Ghoulish Delight, and that's a cinnamon bun coffee. And this one I thought was going to be my favorite because I like cinnamon coffees. But that's what I'm telling you. Like that fudge brownie one, it's that good. It edged it out. But the best way I can explain this is, when most of us think about a cinnamon bun, we think of like Cinnabon, where it's got that tons of the frosting on top.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is more of like drinking the bun without all the frosting. So you don't have that super sweet, ness from that, but it's not to where it tastes like somebody dropped cinnamon in a cup either. Okay. It's like a really nice cinnamon balance. It's more of like a stripped down version of a cinnamon bun. Like it just has a really good flavor. I liked it. That was probably my second favorite, tied with maybe the vanilla. The other coffees that they have that are Disney themed is I already mentioned Happily Never After, Skipper's Brew. That one is I believe banana flavored. And then of course themed Jungle Cruise. Enchanted Tiki Coconut. So that's pretty much explains that one. And Mad Chocolate Biscotti, of course, you've got the Mad Hatter, so the tea party and all that. So, and what do you have it when you have it at tea party? You have often biscotti. So amazing. I mean, all these are perfectly, like, the flavors that they put with what it is are great. They really did put a lot of time and effort into coming up with the names of their coffees, getting cool artists to do their graphics for the labels, and then making sure like the right flavor was paired with the right attractions. So I think they did an awesome job with this. And I'll tell you, one of the cool things about it is the box that it comes in has what looks kind of like a warning label. It's a big label on the side of the box, and it says, "Notice, extremely addictive contents inside." And I was like, that is an awesome label to put on a box.
Yeah, it is.
Their coffees are $10 for a 12-ounce bag, except for the Main Street USA one. That one's $11, but all the others are $10. So definitely make sure you check them out. Their website is tradersamscoffee.com. Banana pie is what the other one was.
Ooh.
So, yum. I need some.
Yeah. Oh, wow. These labels,
coffees.
The labels look amazing too, by the way. I just, you have to admire the artist, I appreciate what the artist did, doing, the drawings for this. They look amazing. Wow.
Colorful too.
Yeah, very colorful.
Well, I think that is all that we have for you today. Thank you so much for downloading this show. As you know, we are part of the We Be Geeks Network and can be found on iTunes, streamed on Stitcher, and watched on YouTube. It is The Dining at Disney. So be sure to like and subscribe to our feeds, and don't forget to share with your friends. Give us a 5-star rating and review. We would absolutely love it if you would do that for us on iTunes. For those of you wanting to know how you can support the show, you can do that by shopping our affiliate links. We have the Disney Store, Garden Grocer, Jelly Belly. We have some books from Amazon from some of our favorite Disney friends in the community, as well as you can shop our ebooks as well. Bubba, let everybody know where they can find you.
You could find me on Twitter and Instagram, big_Bubba_B. You can see all the pictures that we took from the Pirates 50th, because there's a couple more. They also had little picture booths that you could take, with signs saying you were there for the 50th, which I do have posted on there. So go ahead and check them out, and give me a like, friend request me, and we'll talk Disney.
Yay.
Yes.
As far as Dining at Disney, you can find us on social media as far as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Periscope. It is Dining at Disney there. If you would like to send us questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticism, happy emails, whatever, you can email us at podcast@diningatdisney.com. Again, thanks so much for listening. Until next time, bon appetit.